guys, Stephen Carter here from Roller Derby Skate Corporation, coming to you live from Newport Beach, California. I want to talk to you about some inline skate wheels. So your wheels are the foundation of your skating experience. If you have a not so good wheel, your skating experience may not be that good and you just may be turned off of skating for good. We don't want that. So that's why I'm here to talk to you about the difference between a good wheel and a bad wheel. Some companies will use a material like PVC, and the only thing that's really good about that is that they are round, but you're not going to get a good riding experience on them on any surface whatsoever. I'm commonly asked about Durometer, which refers to the hardness or softness of an inline wheel. A softer wheel is usually used for a harder surface to take away some of the vibrations from the rougher road. A harder wheel may be used for something like asphalt or an indoor wood surface for a more smoother ride and faster ride at that point. Sizes of the wheels definitely increase or decrease your speed dramatically depending on how you're skating and what you want to do with your skating. A bigger wheel is going to make you go a lot faster. You may want to use something like this when you're skating for a longer period of time, or you're getting some fitness in, or you're racing, or things along those lines. A smaller wheel may be used more for a shorter recreational or fitness type experience, or in some cases maybe even going to a skate park and skating around and doing some ramps or tricks or urban skating and things along those lines as well. This model here is our Q60, one of our most popular skates. Comes with an 80mm wheel, good for recreational fitness like I said, or just scooting around town. You can get some long distance in on these, very comfortable ride. Softer, so it's going to be good for your harder surfaces like your hard, rough asphalt and things along those lines. Can you skate on these on smooth asphalt? Yes, but it may feel a little slower based on how you skate or what you're trying to do when you're skating. So there's different ways of rotating a wheel. Based on how you skate, you'll start to see how the wheels are wearing, and you may want to take that front wheel and move it to the back and move all of them forward. You may want to swap the front two for the back two. There's no rhyme or reason. Look at how you're skating and look at how they're wearing and make an educated decision on where that wheel should be based on how it's wearing. So let's talk about how you actually change them to rotate them or to replace them if need be. Tools you'll need is a simple Allen wrench to fit the Allen key that's here, or the Allen screw that's here. Stick it in, give it a turn. Once you get that loose, pull the axle out. So this is what your axle looks like. So there's your axle. Sit that right there for the time being. And here's your wheel. If I wanted to rotate this one because this one was wearing more than all the rest of them, like I said, for me, I would probably take this front one and move it to the back, and then I would move each one of these forward one spot. How I put it back on, stick it right back in the space where it's at, grab your axle, stick it back in that hole, take the other side of the screw, stick it in the other side, give it a couple turns to get it started, grab your Allen wrench, tighten it up. Now you're ready to roll. So be sure that when you are putting your wheels back on, that you just want to get it tight enough to where it is tight, but don't over tighten it. If you notice your wheel is not spinning at all, you probably have over tightened at that point, and you want to back it off maybe a quarter of a turn and give the wheel a spin to make sure it's where it needs to be. So let's go into wheel maintenance real quick. So if you find yourself skating and your wheel may not be rolling and you know you haven't over tightened it, or you start hearing loud noises coming from the wheel, most likely your bearing needs to be clean. Grab your Allen wrench, pop that wheel off, took the screw out, took the axle out, I put them together so I'm not looking for pieces later on, stick it off to the side. Here's my wheel and the bearings. There's two bearings on each side. How you take your bearings out, I would use my Allen wrench, stick it just inside of the hole here, and give it a push. There's a spacer inside of there that you can line the Allen key up and push the one bearing out on one side. There's a bearing, there's a spacer that's inside. I'm going to stick these right here. And then there's one bearing left inside of the wheel that I can just take my finger, stick it in the hole, pop it out, or your thumb. So that's the pieces that's inside of your wheel. Grab yourself a safety pin, and you can stick it right inside there on the inside and pop one shield off on one side. I would not take both off because you still want to have one side protected from debris and everything like that when you have it back in the wheel. Once you have that shield off, you'll see some ball bearings inside. Most likely, the debris that's inside is going to be so small it won't be really visible to the human eye. Sometimes you'll see some stuff in there. I would get yourself some WD-40 or some type of lubricant. that does not leave a residue behind. Grab yourself a rag, have that handy. Take all your bearings out, pop the shield off of one side, give everything a spray. Once you spray them in there, go ahead and tap it down on a rag or something like that to try to get some of that loose stuff out. Wipe them off, allow them to dry off a little bit, and then you can begin to put everything back in the wheel and put it back on the skate. Done all my cleaning, dried everything off, I lubed them up. They're not sounding loud anymore, so I know I don't need to replace them at that point. Sticking the bearing back in one side like that. Grabbing the spacer next, don't forget your spacer. Goes right in that bearing that's in. Take your other bearing, stick it right over top of the spacer. Give it a firm press into the bearing. You're ready to put it back on your skate. Grab your skate, get your axle and the screw ready. Grab your axle, stick it back into one side. Grab your screw on the other side. Remember to tighten it down, but don't over tighten it. Give your wheel a spin, and you're ready to roll.